here with us.
Hi.
Hey, wow, small crowd today. My goodness, intimate crowd. Um, Welcome, everyone. I'm sure we got more people tuning in. Welcome to our Success Mastermind for Monday, the 25th. John Lavenia here with you, fresh out of the gym. I had no weekend this weekend. We got all hands on deck with some business project stuff. Lindsay knows what I'm talking about, and it has been nonstop action around here. So for me, my meditation today was hitting the gym, pumping some iron, taking care of my shoulder while I'm doing that, because beating myself up in the gym every day, that shoulders don't like that so much. But listening to some good stuff while I was in there, which inspired me to talk with you about what I'm about to talk with you about. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, I will let you know that we do have no e-commerce work group today. Emma and Neil are off for the week. But we do, in fact, have, of course, our hospitality suite, which is always open. That's a room that you guys can use whenever you want. And we do have our book study group at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, where we will be covering the second law of creating. I always like when people call it a law, which I think people use that term kind of loosely, but still really good stuff from this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. The second law, which is make it attractive. Did I get that right? Make it attractive. Let me check. Yes, make it attractive, right? So the first law was to make it obvious, where he gave us some ideas about, how to keep in, top of mind awareness, things that would support the development of the habits that we choose, right? And then make it invisible, for those things we want to eliminate, right? So we're talking about the easy accessibility to mental prompts, right? Which could be in our environment and all that. Well, this week we're going to cover chapters 8, 9, and 10, which are about making it attractive. In other words, make it something you want to do, which I think is pretty smart. I'm liking this book. Never read it before, so liking it, and we'll continue to see where it's going. That, again, is at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, so be sure to have read chapters 8, 9, and 10 before we get together tonight. And in fact, you can invite friends if you want. So jlsuccessmastermind.com/books will give them free access to our book study group with full participation. All right, good times. So here's what I was thinking about today. First thing is that, and I was just mentioning before we went live to Stuart and to Virginia and some of our other awesome entrepreneurs that we have here in the group, that I'm looking to promote your stuff, promote your wares to people, anybody who's willing to listen to me. And so like Virginia is amazing with her cookies, and she's got her cookbook. Stuart and Leah arguably have the greatest bath bombs in the galaxy, right? So all we need to do is make that known to more people. And so I am here to help you guys do that. So if you got something you're promoting for the holiday season, let me know. And then I can let other people know. Not that I have 10 million people on my email list or anything, but I've actually been very, very lax in that area, in the area of list building and all that. And I've got some great excuses about that too. If you want to hear them, I've got some spectacular excuses of why I. Oh my goodness! But this whole weekend has been nonstop action, and I had a couple. Well, the one thing I'll give you something that drives me friggin' crazy is when people waste my time, like a no-show kind of a situation. Much of what I've done in my sales and marketing career and life over the last few decades has been one to many. So like right now I'm talking, there are many people listening. That's one to many. That could be a webinar, that could be a live seminar in a hotel room, that could be via machinery, right? Sales funnels, websites, videos, etc. So that leverages my time. And yet the nature of some of the stuff that I'm in, it requires more one-on-one. Which is great. Like if, let's say, for example, Lindsay booked some time with me right now, I would say, oh, great, Lindsay, let's get you on my calendar. Let's have a consultation. Let's do something. And I know Lindsay, and Lindsay knows me, and we're going to talk about some specific topic, right, that she requires counsel on or whatever. And I would have no problem dedicating time to Lindsay and only Lindsay for that half hour or whatever it happens to be. But Joe Public doesn't know me. He's got an idea who I am. And he's also got a life, and he's also got a bunch of other things that interest him. and he's not interested as I am because he doesn't know what I know, right, about what we're going to cover during that consultation or whatever. So I set myself up to possibly do a lot of good for Mr. Joe, or possibly just take time off my calendar for anybody else who would deserve it more than this guy who didn't even show up. So this is the downside of interacting, personally with people in, some sort of a sales or consultative capacity. Now, some of you are involved in stuff like that, and some of you have never touched anything like that. In fact, in our e-commerce world, where we have a lot of people here participating, you're definitely one to many, right? I mean, in this case, you're not even known to the end user, right? They don't know who the hell is, Stuart Wilde. All I know is Thrive Bath Bombs, right? And so the product is doing the talking for you via whatever platforms, whatever communication are happening. Okay, but you are in a more leveraged position. Now, the downside to that is that you damn well better be good at photography and copywriting and creating top of mind awareness and doing that better than your competitors, because you don't have somebody sitting across the table from you where you can dialogue, right? Find out what's really going on with them, and communicate in such a way that there's no mistake who you're talking to. That's the the beauty of one-on-one, which you don't have with one-to-many. I've done countless webinars, right, where there are a portion of the group that receives the communication. He's talking exactly to me, man. He's telling my story. And then other people, well, he's talking to everybody else but me. So instant and knee-jerk, sort of assumed disqualification, right? This must be a one-to-many thing. Even in like group, like small group kind of things that I do. I've got groups of people. Some are more interactive than others. And for any of you guys, I mean, I'm all about, getting feedback. Here are my ideas. What do you guys think? And so I do that habitually, right? We're talking about atomic habits tonight, but one habit that I have is to attempt to engage people in a dialogue, even if they don't necessarily have a hot mic. I'd like for them to think about, what did I just say? Does that apply to me? Right. So kind of own this stuff, own the data, right? The data is for use, not for you to just sit there and, have it go in one ear and out the other. And so I ask people for feedback. So, hey, what do you guys think about this? And I'll find a certain segment. Let's say I've got, 15 people on a Zoom meeting or something. I'll have a couple, 2 or 3 who will be like eager to jump in and participate with the host, with the expert, with whatever my title is. Whereas others are, quiet, like no camera, no microphone, no nothing, right? So this is an interesting dynamic, which we can observe throughout life. And so where I'm going with this today, and the thing that I was considering was while I was in the gym, I got some ideas, and I noticed the different personalities that show up in the gym. So this, I think, is an interesting metaphor for how people participate in various areas of their life. So the people I didn't see in the gym were the people that didn't show up, right? So we already talked about that example, right? So Joe Public has the opportunity to show up and do something resourceful for himself. Did he? He didn't. Okay, so there's more room in the gym for those of us who did. And out of those of us in the gym who did show up, I did get to see there were some people who were very new to the environment, very tentative, right? I'll try this machine and see if I can make movements and do something with my muscles, right? And then on the other side of the spectrum, there were people like me who was like, I got exactly 25 minutes to pump as much iron as possible, and I'm a friggin' madman, and here I come, right? And then there were the social people, right, with their tight pants and doing their splits and stuff like that, and they always get noticed, right? I actually wrote about this in my first book. Was it chapter 2? Yeah, where I talked about my gym experience. The ladies with the leg split and lift your butt and all this, yeah, and with pink or some other word on their butt. Okay, so I guess they want to be noticed, and they certainly are. So there's all different kinds of people that show up to have a different experience, a different level of participation. with different motivations in that environment. Okay. So then the question, of course, is, have I decided on my purpose before I engaged in that environment? So, yeah, in my case, clearly, yes. And that's just because I'm busy and whatever, and I'm married, right? But let's say that I was, going to the gym with different purposes, right? To experiment or to meet people or to, whatever. Okay, well, then I would have a completely different beingness about me, and therefore a different doingness, observably, while I'm in that environment. So here's the trick, and this is something, a question that's come up for me in the last couple of weeks repeatedly, regarding how do I tend to. In fact, this was just last night. I got a client who was asking me for the secrets of hard closing. And I was like, hold on a second. Whoa. Hard closing. Is that how you see me? As a hard closer? Well, no, John, not really. I mean, you're a friend and whatever. And yet, we had this conversation with you the other day, and next thing you know, I was spending all this money and I didn't even know what happened. And I said, okay, so here, I'll tell you what happened. Here's what happened. My friend, we'll call him Bob. My friend Bob has a problem, has a situation. I've recently met Bob. It might have been 15 minutes ago, might have been last week, might have been a year, 10 years from that ago. I don't know. Okay. But I know Bob and I know his problem. And I also know about how to solve Bob's problem. And so all I did was I said, hey, here's what we could do about that situation. Here's how it all works. I'd be happy to help you with it. Here would be the next step. And when you go ahead and click the button to buy the thing, right, here's what's going to happen next. And And because we've got obviously some rapport, I've developed trust and credibility with this person. They're able to do what? To make decisions. So all I've really done is I've induced decision on the part of another person. I'm actually saying this to a client who, in retrospect, is looking at what just happened here. I didn't even know I was being sold, so to speak. And yet here I am now, a customer, a client. So that's what happened, Bob. And there's nothing like hard closey about it. Although if we look at everything that we do in life, okay, where you can meet lots of people who are, we could say, milquetoast, uncommitted, lack of resolve, whatever, like the person who's perhaps because they're new, right? They're just trying to use the machinery in the gym. They're not sure how to do the movements, right? So we could see lots of people who are not as committed to solutions as I am, if we're going to use me as an example, and therefore they have less credibility. They speak with less certainty, and therefore induce less trust on the part of the person who is naturally reticent to make decisions. Right? People resist change a lot, even to their own detriment, right? I mean, I think I'm just stating the obvious. Okay. So what is my job in all this, and all of us moving forward? Okay. What is our job in all this? I would say it's to have the resolve of someone who knows what you're doing is good and right, the best thing in the marketplace that you could possibly buy. My goodness, if you want Italian cookies, you got to buy Virginia. Excuse me, you got to buy Virginia's book, right? You will cry bitter tears of regret if you do not buy Virginia's book, and therefore, right, and go the way of folly. And next thing you know, your Christmas cookies suck, and it's all your fault. All you had to do was buy Virginia's book. So just buy the book. And when you click the add to cart button, you see the add to cart button, and when you click the add to cart button, your problems are solved. I mean, solved. You bath bomb people, I'm telling you what, right now, Thrive bath bombs. Well, come on, you're gonna go buy the bath bombs from the other guy? You got to be kidding me. I personally know of the greatest bath bombs in the world. I don't even use bath bombs, but my wife and daughter do. Okay, and our clients do, because my wife buys them by the case and sends them out to our clients. And holy crap, yeah, you like baths, do you? Well, let me enlighten you. Let me friggin' enlighten you right now. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Right. So you see that? You see that posture? Those aren't even my products. Okay. But do you have that same posture with your product, your offer, whatever you're offering to the public? I hope so. I hope so. Right. Otherwise, well, now did that sound like hard closey kind of stuff? Maybe it did to you. I just know. I'm just convicted. Right. I know. I don't hope. I'm not trying. I know. When I go in the gym, I know how to use that piece of machinery to affect that specific muscle or muscle group, right? And isolate that and cause the maximum, torture to that one item and not the other items, right? So so it's that definiteness, it's that decidedness. And I know we've talked about this again and again. It's nothing, no new truth here, okay? But how does that show up? And therefore, how do you show up, right? How does that decidedness, which resides or not in you, show up when you're communicating whatever your product, service, whatever your offer is out into the marketplace? Great friggin' question. And if there's anything tentative about that, well, then your audience gets to be tentative instead of decisive. So, as James Allen said in As a Man Thinketh, in life, you do not get what you want, you get who you are. So that's why, as a decided type personality, it's easy for me to induce decision on the part of others. Now, this is dangerous, okay, because there are such a thing as sociopaths in the world who, they'll sell their mother up the river, right, for $10. All right. So you got to have your own ethics on this as well. Okay. And I observe, what I'm doing all the time. Is this good? Is this right? Is this doing the most good for the most amount of people in the least amount of time? Is there some way I can optimize this? Right. The last thing I want to do is, lose sleep at night, right? Or think that I've harmed my fellow man or something. Okay. That's for me. Right. And I wrote the book on personal integrity. So then what better be for me? And so that's my considerations about it. And yeah, I sleep really, really freaking good at night. Okay. So again, this doesn't mean that all offers are right for all people. I don't use bath bombs. I don't take baths, right? And I suppose if I did, I would look at the assortment and get the lavender or what, I don't know, whatever the flavors are. Not flavors, you're not eating this stuff. Scents or effervescent. You see, that's how much I know about it. But I do know that for people who like baths, oh my goodness, this is the stuff, says my wife, says my daughter, and says every client who's received this. Packaging's really nice too. So I guess moving forward then, what I'd love to hear from you guys is, I guess a question first. Is there something that you're not certain about? Because we're talking about the certain way, right? That's what we're describing right now. Wallace D. Wattles, science of friggin' getting rich. We're talking about it right now, okay? Just using different words. The one who gets rich does things in a certain way. In order to do the things in a certain way, you must think in a certain way. Certain way, certainty, absence of doubt. That's what we're talking about, okay? So is there something you're not certain about? Is there something about your offer, which includes you, by the way? Okay. When you put your product out on the interwebs or whatever, somebody's originating that communication. Is there something which you may not see on the surface? Is there something where you feel, I'm not quite sure, should people buy this? Well, we got to handle that right now, especially if you're not in a direct dialogue with your customer. They're not sitting across the table from you. They're on Amazon or something. How do you communicate with certainty to induce that certainty in the part of the other person so they can make a decision to click the buy button, right? That's the decision. Is there something holding you back from communicating that with certainty? That's the first question. And then the other side of that would be, what are you doing to demonstrate that? And like knowingly and willingly, have you created, like Virginia mentioned, a website, right? She's got a website for that, which I haven't seen yet for some reason. Why haven't I seen that yet? Okay. Why is it a secret, right? So is there something we can do to more further put that out there in such a way that more people get to know? Because as my friend Grant Cardone says, best known beats best. You may have the best product and it's a secret, you lose and everybody else loses too. So you see, it's now our moral obligation to decidedly and with certainty put that out there. Because if not, people are going to go down the street and do something else. And look, we're in the fourth quarter. If not now, then when? Holy crap, right? Credit cards are out. So what are we selling? I know Janet's got the the calligraphy course coming out. Was that this Sunday, I think, Janet? Yeah. Last Sunday, my goodness, it's nonstop. It was yesterday. My goodness.
Yesterday, John.
Oh my goodness. Um, I want to catch the replays on that, or get my daughter in on that too. My daughter just took
There's
up.
no replay.
Did you
It,
record
it
it?
wasn't allowed to be recorded, but what I will do as I build my skill is to put it out there clean on a YouTube channel. But I think that I should not put it on a YouTube channel until I have my website built, so that when people get excited, then they can come to my website, then they can buy my courses. So I don't want to
Okay.
put it out there before I have product to sell them.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So back to the idea of promotion, right? So thank you for that, Janet. And certainty. Is your stuff good enough for the tyro, the neophyte, the newbie to come and say, I just got benefit. Maybe I could seek more. Maybe I'll take the course. Now here's some money, right? So I think, and I'll just say for myself, as I already admitted, I'll admit it once again. One area that I've been weak in is promotion, right? So intellectually, I know this stuff. Yeah, best known beats best, right? Put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. More eyeballs on your stuff, more buy buttons. Right now, Janet at this moment does not have a buy button, so we need to create a buy button. However, little tidbits of, here's 3 minutes on a specific technique for the new calligrapher, right? So something like that could certainly live on YouTube. I beseech you, Janet, to never, ever, ever again fail to record something, because that has been a huge mistake that I've made, is not
John,
having the footage. Right.
Thank you. I did record it.
Oh, good. Thank
but
you.
The society, no,
Thank you.
but the society does not allow it to be put out when it's a free outreach program. So for my own benefit of knowing what I did and improving on it is there for me, but I am not allowed to put it out to somebody else.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why that policy is. I'm going to ask the president, but I will be recreating it in as best format as I can. So I had about 70 people there. Oh. And got a lot of good feedback. And thank you, Stuart. And I will, but I will be recreating it.
So this was something that was put out via an organization that has their policies. Okay, but you got traffic from that, so that's good.
I did.
Okay, good. Yeah, so now Janet is more known in the marketplace via this organization who has traffic, and now it's your traffic, right? So you can communicate with those people. That's good.
That's right. So I have a list of the people. Many of them were my students or people I know through other organizations. No one from this one, but yes, I have my list. I'm going to be sending them some resources that I spoke about. I'm going to be sending them a picture of one of my piece. Thanking them for coming. I have to get the report of who was there, and then I will I will communicate back with them. I probably picked up a couple of new students, and I picked up people who want to buy the little facsimile book when I make it, and so that's another piece of it. So I'm learning through you, John, how to take. I mean, this book was made in 2019. And so, basically it was there for an exhibit. I attempted to put another exhibit, and then it goes in its box. And that's the end of the story, but it's not anymore. It's not anymore because I have learned, okay, you have this thing. How can you present it to get people excited about it? How can you bring people to you because you have this thing? I mean, I expanded the whole of the alphabet, put it in a ballpoint form so people who don't know calligraphy can still benefit from it. And so it will separate out. What I did yesterday was in 2 parts. The second part was the lettering. That will go onto my future website, which will sell it.
Great.
And that won't be put out on YouTube. Just that part will be a sell thing instead. Okay.
Congratulations.
The thing is to get people interested and excited and send them to my website eventually. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank
Well,
you.
so then you are moving forward. You are gaining traction. Well done, my friend. Well done. And I'm so glad to hear that. So I was thinking at first that all the footage was gone and nothing will come of this, but no, something is coming of this already. And people have announced their interest in this specific thing. Oh, well, here's the thing that you could buy, right? So that's good. That's instructive. So now we know what should we produce next. Well, let's produce what people want to buy. That makes sense, right? So it's not a mystery to you. Awesome stuff. Anybody else? Any other thoughts on this, on putting ourselves out there decidedly and therefore inducing decision on the part of those who are willing to listen? Come on out. Anybody else? I see Ace Man, Daisy, and there's Edward and Lindsay and Sonia's here. Hey, Suzanne and Virginia. Anybody else? Anybody else? Last call. All right. Well, thank you, Janet, for sharing your experience. And I've been, as I already mentioned, nonstop action. So I haven't had 10 seconds to look at other stuff, but I'm excited to see what you produce moving forward. All right, guys. So then we're at the bottom of the hour. Let's get together tonight for book study group. Those of you here in the States and in Australia, of course, it's a beautiful time to get together. Usually we only have one Brit there, and that's She Who Shall Not Sleep, V.A. Barnabas. So we'll see if she shows up tonight. But chapters 8, 9, and 10 of Atomic Habits.